Jonathan Phillips, Professor of Crusading History. Saladin is best known to us as the man who defeated the Crusaders at the Battle of Hattin in 1187, went on to recover the holy city of Islam for his people, and then faced down Richard the Lionheart and the might of Europe in the course of the Third Crusade. But how did he get to the position where he could make those great historic gestures, those historic achievements? He was born a Kurd in 1137, and he grows up in the age of a man called Aldine, who's the Muslim ruler of Damascus. And Aldine is really central to Saladin's story. He's in fact the man who I think probably does most of the hard work and certainly creates the context in which Saladin is able to succeed. Aldine manages to draw the religious and the noble classes of Muslim Syria together in a way that had not been the case during the First Crusade. They'd been disinterested in one another, the nobles had been infighting, the idea of jihad, the counter-crusade, was not really active in the Muslim Near East. One of the reasons the First Crusade succeeds. But under this man, Aldine, who's a great warrior and a very pious man, they're drawn together, and through him there's a greater sense of willingness and determination to throw the Crusaders out. And that's the environment he creates. And he takes control of the important cities of Damascus, Aleppo and Mosul. It's in Damascus that the young Saladin grows up. So that's the environment in which he emerges. His family are great warriors and great administrators. And in the course of the 1160s, the conflict between the Crusaders and the Muslims, the arena moves to Egypt, wealthy Egypt. And that's where Aldine's Syrian Sunni warriors against the Crusaders of Jerusalem, they're both competing to take over Egypt. And Saladin's uncle, a man called Shirkuh, leads the army there, and in January 1169 he takes power in Egypt, only to die of overeating 2 months later, leaving this young man, Saladin, to emerge as the vizier of Egypt. And to me, when I was researching and writing about this was a fascinating moment. What a challenge this young individual faced. Egypt, a great empire, Shia ruled, with interests from Byzantium, the Crusader states, North Africa, a really complex environment in which to emerge. And yet, within 18 years, he's able to take on the Crusaders and throw them out of Jerusalem. So how did he do it? I think there's a number of reasons. First, I would say his family. His Kurdish clan really stick by him. He looks after them, he rewards them, and they are very, very loyal to him. They're good administrators and good warriors. Secondly, his administrative circle. He is brilliant at picking very, very sophisticated writers, great propagandists, great thinkers, and again, they're very, very loyal to him. He has a good inner clique around him. And because he has control of Egypt, he also has money, and he uses that wealth to reward his followers with land, and he also rewards the religious classes, so they say very positive things about him. So he's very good at building support networks. And he does feather his own family's nest in Egypt. And 5 years after he takes power there, he is almost at civil war with his patron Aldine. So you might say, hang on, I thought Saladin was the hero of Islam. But yet, and yes he is, but he is rebelling against his former patron, simply because he is doing his own thing in Egypt. They're about to come into conflict when Aldine dies. Saladin's often quite lucky. And he then spends the next 13 years usurping, to use a harsh word, Aldine's family empire. And it takes him that long to take Damascus, Aleppo and Mosul. He's fighting his fellow Sunni Muslims, which again seems remarkable if we think about him as the man who defeated the Crusaders, which he's going to do later. It's a controversial process. It's one in which he faces quite a bit of criticism, but he manages through some fighting and a lot of persuasion and pressure to achieve it. And then through this fragile coalition that he's achieved, Egypt, Syria, northern Iraq, he's able to gather enough forces to focus down on the Franks of Jerusalem and to break them at the Battle of Hattin. It's not to say the Franks haven't contributed to this themselves. The political infighting, the almost death wish they seem to have in their own political games with one another is a part of it. The lack of help from Western Europe is a further part of it. But I think Saladin's ability to put them under that pressure is a crucial role. So I would say his family, his inner circle, his ability to propagandize, his skill with people, all cumulatively allow him to drive the jihad and focus it on defeating the Franks and recovering Jerusalem.